there, folks. Busy line, busy day. December 14th. 1 week left of fall. 1 week left of the beautiful year, 2020. Folks, did you feel that you wasted a lot of this year? Did you feel that you wasted a lot of it? That you could have done so much better with it? We have 1 week left. Let's say to each other that we won't waste time this year. We will spend all our time in loving others and helping the universe and helping God and doing good things. Let's say that. Yes, that's how we waste it, when we don't love and when we don't do good things. And we don't think about the happiness of God, the goodness of God, the oneness of God, the allness of God. That's how we waste it, when we think anything opposite or when we don't think anything at all. That's a pretty big call, though, isn't it? Well, let's try it. Let's give it a try. We've got a week to practice. Let's give it a try, folks. And I waste so much time trying to remember the jokes, which ones I've told you and which ones I haven't told you. But Wayne Collins reminded me of two. The woman at the bridge table. She said, when I'm down in the dumps, I buy clothes. And the woman at the next bridge table said, I was wondering where she got them. And the little girl is hopping and skipping to Sunday school, and she had 2 quarters, one for the Sunday school collection and one for herself. And as she's hopping and skipping, she trips, and one of the quarters rolls out of her hands and rolls into the grate and disappears into the sewer. And she says, there goes Jesus' quarter. The big brother who's trying to help his little sister with subtraction, learn how to subtract. And he said to her, if you had 7 pieces of candy and I asked you for 2, how many would you have left? And she looked him square in the eye and said, 7. The little boy who was late for school, and he takes a shortcut and goes under the barbed wire fence, and the barbed wire fence catches his pants. And he runs into the classroom, and the teacher says, I see you're a little behind this morning. He says, it was the barbed wire fence. Bill says, I don't want to go to church today. His mother says, well, you're going to church today. You have to be loyal to God. You know you have to go to church every Sunday. And you need the religious education. And besides, you're the priest. Our Bible passage is Romans 12:10. Would you please look it up and read it to me? Wayne Collins said he saw my program on Pittsfield TV this morning at 5:30 a.m. or was it 6 a.m.? And that Glendora said she was 95 and a half years old, and she said it 4 times. So I wish to correct that. I am not. I'm 92 and a half years old. I beg your pardon. And I also would like to mention again Mrs. Hubbard and tell her the good feeling that she has given all of us, that she has stayed with the program all these years. You have amazing resilience, but I want you to know that it's very seldom that we hear from people, although there must be quite a few. If you have one person who says it, there must be quite a few who don't say it. It means a lot to us, Mrs. Hubbard, and I wish to thank your daughter, Mary, and I wish to thank Mr. Wayne Collins for bringing the information to us. Breathe on us, breath of God, fill us with life anew, that we may love as thou dost love, and do as thou wouldst do. That's what we want to do, isn't it? Trooper Bailey of the New York Police a couple of summers ago answered our call that while we were sitting on that side of the house, somebody on this side of the house came along and cut all of the cable TV wires. And that person had to climb a ladder to do the ones on the second floor. And then that person took those cables and rolled them all up very neatly and put them in the dumpster and went off. And Pat, Patricia, and I were sitting out there telephoning on the other side of the house. Well, he'd never seen anything like that, Trooper Bailey, but I was so impressed by his demeanor. And he was a great credit to the New York State Police, the way he presented himself. And later on, I called his supervisor and told him that. And every now and then I would call Trooper Bailey, and he was transferred out of our area. He went north, I think, to Saratoga Springs. But I would call every now and then, and lo and behold, I called last week, and he's back with us. He says he's not on the road making calls anymore, but he is teaching the other troopers how to use firearms. Well, look at that the way you have to look at it. So I'm so happy to be in touch with you, and I had a chance to tell him what a good presentation he'd made of himself. And by the way, he has just become the daddy of a boy. Our word for today, folks, is ahoy! Remember the SS Glendora? All hands on deck, man your stations. Well, ahoy is a greeting to a person or to another a vessel. So let's remember that. Ahoy! Our meditation. This is my Father's world. Oh, let us ne'er forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. Remember, we're looking at things wrong. Remember, we have to correct our thinking. Our thinking in many things is very, very wrong. We have to re-establish our thinking. Andy, thank you for reading the article from the Advertiser about veganism, reading it on TV. Sandy, thank you for doing the wash that Glendora can no longer manipulate. Thank you, Sandy, for cleaning the bathroom. Thank you, Sandy, for touching up the floor. Thank you, Sandy, for...
Overview.
What did you say, Google? Thank you, Sandy, for tidying and organizing the area between the bed table and the electronics bench. Thank you for the delicious hamburger that your husband made and sent to me, and the potato pancakes and the applesauce. No dessert? I must have been bad. I didn't get a dessert yesterday. That was Sandy's day for Wheels on Meals. Sunday and Wednesday. Thank you, Sandy, for teaching 17 little children under rather new and difficult circumstances. Thank you, Sandy, for getting it done. and teaching them spelling and the arithmetic about multiplying bigger numbers. Thank you. I think I will put an ad in the newspaper, folks. $300 a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Your lunch provided. You must know how to read and write. Sorry, I get too many of them who can't read and write. And you must know how to do arithmetic. And you must be very good at the cell phone and must be very good at the laptop. And general office work and housework and errands and helping a TV star with her show on 75 TV stations nationwide, Boston to San Diego. I think I'll put that ad into the advertiser and into Marketplace, Facebook, and into Craigslist. $300 a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, December 14th, 7 days left to fall before the winter solstice, 7 days, and we'll be coming home from our trip around the sun that took all year. So we have 7 days left. Let's try to make it as perfect, as close to perfect as we can. Want to? Number one, clean up the thought. Don't think bad things. Number two, don't talk about yourself. Don't think about yourself. Instead, put all that energy into loving others. And then you will find out what love is, after all, is God. You found out that love is God. You always wanted to know what God was and you couldn't figure it out. It was too complex, but now you know all about God because you know everything there is to know about love. And we'll keep that thought pure. No negative thoughts, second level, trivial, or ugly. We'll think good things. And then we learn that God is all. There isn't anything but God. And if it wasn't created by God, then it doesn't exist. And we'll learn that we're one with God, just the way every cell in your body is one with every other cell. Can you separate it? Can you live without it? No. And we will learn that God is good. And we will learn to be vegan. Let's go. The last 7 days of the year. Let's make it. It's our last chance. Hi, folks. No, I'm over here. Over here, folks. Hi. Hi, everybody. Over here. Hi, folks. The costumes didn't come out right. We have, I think, something like 25 costumes. And this is the start. This starts the season or it ends the season. Do you know that 285 TV shows have been made by Mr. Benny Raphael and Glendora for 75 TV stations from Boston to San Diego? I've been making 2 SD cards, 2 cameras, to send the show to Albany, Bethlehem, and to QPTV, Queens Public Access Television. But he told me that you can make an SD card on the computer. Did you know that, Benny?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
So all I have to do is put the SD card into the computer, because the programs are already uploaded onto the computer because they have been on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Right, Benny?
Yes.
And I just have to transfer the file from the computer to the SD card?
Yes.
Oh, you people are so smart. And I've gone 6 or 7 years not knowing that and doing all this hard work for nothing. Robert Jackson is going to sponsor Reine Horst spiritual gospel music, Western style, and on Yonkers TV. Isn't that great? And so now they have a shared Dropbox. I have paid $700 this year for that Dropbox, and George Durnford has maybe got 2 or 3 shows out instead of like 40. So we're waiting, and then Mr. Jackson made it even easier for Mr. Durnford. He sent him the shows that I send Mr. Jackson on MPEG-2 and also on MOV. So really, Mr. Durnford, all you have to do is just this and send those shows out Dropbox to about 10 more TV shows, TV stations. And Robert Jackson already does 16 TV stations by file transfer protocol. He uses Dropbox, he uses Google Chrome, he uses TelView Connect, he uses FileZilla. No, that's Chatham Charter who uses FileZilla. How would we do this unless we were all brothers and sisters? Unless we were all working together, folks. Do you feel the oneness? Do you feel the allness? Do you feel that onlyness? That God is? And do you feel that you're not apart from God? You are not. You're some of God. You're an area of God. We're all together in an area of God. And who was that? That was Google, Benny?
Yes.
And he plays a harmonica?
Yes.
And what is he saying?
I think it was a Facebook notification.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem.
Do you feel that allness and that oneness, that we're all brothers and sisters, we're all one, and together we work and have the fun of keeping the universe what? Going, growing, glowing. I do. I feel it right now anyway. That oneness, that allness, that wholeness. Folks, I'm going to tell you about this leg. This leg, the knee has lost its ability to walk almost entirely. But you know what Mary Baker Eddy says that will cure sickness, sin, and death. You know, how do you get rid of sickness, sin, and death? Well, through the pangs of atonement. You say, I'm sorry for what I did wrong and I'm making up for it. And the sufferings that it has brought you. And for every effort you make to reform, that counts. Every effort you make to reform. And every good thought and good deed. And you can erase it, and then she says, and be on a spiritual level. And if you're on a spiritual level, that's the God level, and God knows no pain, so you're not going to have any pain in the knee. And eventually the Christian Science are working on the eyesight to come back. And their testimonials are so great. thousands and thousands of testimonials who read the book Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, and they were healed. So that's where we are. I know the best thing to way for me to feel the allness of God is to do something nice for somebody. So I called the Christian Science practitioner in Mill River, and I asked if she knew of anybody there who needed some money. And she gave me the name of a church. And so I'm going to send 2 checks to that church, and I'm going to say it's for Informa Pauperis, a poor person. And the other one will say for a poor person. And then I feel the allness of God. We count our blessings, we give thanks, we give joy. Stop the cruel. Oh, stop the cruel.
The Glendora Vegetarian Club loves and prays for you. We want you to have purification of living harmlessly, no animal products. You are not going to make it unless you are vegan.
I say that you can't make it with God. You can't have the peace of God unless you're vegan. You just can't go out and kill animals and eat them. No, you have to have vegan.
We are in year number 9, 33,000 of...
Oh, that's how much money we spent, Benny. $33,000 in the Glendora Vegetarian Club.
for donation to animal societies, vegan food, and other vegan diet.
What are those 3?
Vegan free dinners and 56,000 for airtime for vegan commercials on...
That's right. That doesn't include the $56,000 that the airtime costs for the vegan commercials to help the animals.
Burger King has a vegan Whopper.
Burger King has a vegan Whopper.
Subway has a vegetarian meat sandwich.
They do.
Virgin Wolf has over 30 vegan options with a vegan lifestyle and television dedication. Glendora lives at 92 with no doctors or medication.
Let's go back to Bergen and Wolf. There's one in Albany, folks, and it was so successful. There's one in Troy, and it's an all vegan menu. And it's Benny says it's 30 options. And then, did you have a poem to say, honey?
With a vegan lifestyle and a television dedication, Glendora lives at 92 with no doctors or medication.
Thank you, Wayne Collins.
Jokes. Why was the baby shoe crying?
I don't know. Why was a baby shoe crying?
Because his mother was a sneak and his daddy was a loafer. A mother and 2 daughters were walking along the sidewalk. One daughter asked, "Why do you have to be quiet when you walk by a church?" The other daughter said, "People inside are sleeping." What's the difference between like and love?
What is the difference between light and love? A minister asked a boy.
The boy said, "I love my mom and dad, but I love my bubblegum." Jokes.
Be blameless and harmless as a child of God without rebuke in the midst of a wicked and perverse, is it generation?
Yes, generation.
Shine your light on the world.
Decency rules do not let anybody change your mind. Stand up for what's right. We are winning after all is said and done. The only thing that matters is how did you treat others.
The message, the mission is, after all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat others. And then what does it say, Ben?
See the vegan commercials to help the animals on Channel 6 CBS News.
Channel 6:30 p.m. News?
6:30 p.m. News.
Channel 6 WRGB CBS.
Okay.
Monday through Friday.
Alright.
Vegan commercials to help the animals. The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect those of the management nor staff of Staten Island Community TV. Was produced using the facilities of Staten Island Community TV. Copyright 2020.